Former state senator Janet Cruz, who lost her bid for re-election for state senate, filed to run for City Council District 3 on November 16th last year, according to filing documents found on the Supervisor of Elections website. This is concerning to us at Tampa Bay Activist Network, and frankly, many in the community that we've spoken with, due to her proximity to the already ultra-powerful Mayor Jane Castor. Janet Cruz is the mother of lobbyist Ana Cruz. According to Ana Cruz's own Twitter, she refers to herself as Tampa's First Lady. Ana Cruz is the current significant other of Mayor Jane Castor. In essence, Janet Cruz is the mother-in-law to Jane Castor. So I'm sure you can see our concern with Mayor Castor's mother-in-law on the city council. The problem is, Mayor Castor, in our belief, has led a very corrupt mayoralship. As a few examples, think back to some of the extensive reporting by Creative Loafing and Tampa Bay Times on the $100 million city center project on Hannah Avenue, a project many activists in East Tampa, including us, opposed. It would be reported that the developer chosen for that $100 million project may not have been required to follow the city's own rules on the developer selection process. In other words, Mayor Castor most likely bent the rules to appease some of her developer friends. And we know developers control her because Creative Loafing reported last year more than half of her campaign was funded by them. This is important because Mayor Castor is beholden to them. Castor opposed rent control, for example, stating that it would disrupt development. Of course, she's more concerned about developers than she is renters, because developers funded about 52% of her candidacy to begin with. This is why it's so important that everyone, especially renters, show up to the polls on March 7th. Mark your calendar. While we don't think anyone is going to beat Mayor Castor in her bid for re-election, we still need to vote strong city council members in that will stand up to the mayor, stand up to developers, and stand up to the police union. Simply put, Janet Cruz isn't going to stand up to the mayor, to developers, or to the police union. She's going to go along with everything the mayor wants, and that's why we really need everyone in the city voting against Janet Cruz. We also speculate that Janet Cruz chose District 3 for a very calculated reason. Currently, Councilmember Lynn Hurtak, who was appointed to the seat last year after Councilmember John Dingfelder was ousted due to a public records scandal, holds this seat. Councilmember Hurtak has been a vocal advocate for rent control, being one of 2 city council members to support it, on top of her ongoing support for alternative dwelling units and other pro-renter and pro-housing positions. For example, it was Councilmember Hurtak who championed the tenant advocacy hotline, which later became the housing hotline. Councilmember Hurtak has also stood on the side of the people on the matters involving the Citizen Review Board, the citizen-appointed board that allegedly monitors Tampa Police Department's conduct. The ACLU and Tampa Bay Community Action Committee, along with Restorative Justice Coalition and ourselves, demanded that the Citizen Review Board have subpoena power. For example, this simple step of power exists on other boards, like the Human Rights Board, and would allow the Citizen Review Board to subpoena witnesses, documents, photos, and other evidence when reviewing complaints or concerns about the conduct of Tampa police officers and personnel. This is a small sliver of power, and it's consistent with every other board. And it wouldn't even give the board the authority to subpoena individual police officers, as that's preempted by the Florida Law Enforcement Bill of Rights. This small chunk of power, however, was not approved by Mayor Castor or the police union, who fought tooth and nail to oppose it. But Councilmember Hurtak voted in favor of it anyway. And in addition, she also supported the Citizen Review Board having its own independent attorney, instead of using the mayor's legal staff. This is on top of the moves in the last year that changed how Citizen Review Board members are appointed, granting some appointment power to the city council instead of all of the power being with the mayor. Of course, the mayor opposed both of those things as well, because ultimately for Mayor Castor, she wants
absolute power.
That's why she's sending her mother-in-law, Janet Cruz, to run against Lynn Hurtak. Not only will Cruz do everything the mayor wants, it'll also silence the people-centered advocacy from Hurtak. This is no accident. This is a very calculated move. So be sure to stand in line at the polls on March 7th and not allow Mayor Castor to gain even more unnecessary power in our city.